Thought those were fireworks going off just a moment ago.
Just my knuckles popping.
Just your knuckles, eh?
And my mom hates when I do that.
Does she hate when you wear your hat the way you're wearing it now?
Well, I didn't have time to shower this morning, so my hair's a mess. But when I had it on...
I wondered what that aroma was.
I put deodorant on. When I put it on in the front, the lights were... It was making my face real dark. Mm-hmm. So it's either I have hat hair or I wear a backwards hat on the show.
Well, coming from a guy who no longer has to worry about hat hair, wear the hat.
Yes.
And I'd rather see it worn like that than kind of like off the bill off to the side. That I always thought it looked a little odd.
It does.
Yeah. Welcome to the program. It is another edition of Liter Media Live on this day before Independence Day. A quick note for you. We will not be on the air tomorrow, but we will be working tomorrow.
Yes, through the night.
Chillicothe fireworks display tomorrow night. Weather permitting, that's the problem we're running into. Not only us, but Red, White, and Boom's worried about that. Chillicothe Paints are worried about that. They're supposed to have their fireworks tonight as well. So we'll touch more on that a little bit later on. Also, a look at what's making news for us, as well as sports and this date in history. But first, let's jump right into the weather. We are looking at the potential for some thunderstorms forming this afternoon and evening. From what we understand, in the last weather forecast I saw was from Dave Mazza last night on NBC4, and he was talking about how the rains may come through, but be done just in time for the fireworks displays.
Let's hope so.
And then it'll crop back up again. And likely be a problem for us tomorrow as we have the heat and humidity jumping back at us, combined to make it feel like it's 100 degrees this afternoon. That's going to be tough. So make sure you drink plenty of clear fluids for your beverages today.
Sounds like you need to drink some water over there. Your voice is all...
Got a little catch in my throat. It has something to do with hanging out with teenage girls last night, I think.
Whoa.
Yeah. Talking about the Ashville 4th of July Queens pageant.
I was going to say, you should specify what you mean there.
That's true. This day and age, you just never know. But, if like Mike's situation where volleyball teams are always around the house, he's got to deal with the same kind of thing. But at any rate, we've got all that and more coming up for you in just a moment. But first, let's tell you about Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. The boys were just here today. They were in changing the filters in the air conditioning unit we have here. Your trusted comfort advisor, Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. You'll find them all across Southern Ohio. They have 8 different locations. In fact, I went past their Circleville office a couple of times yesterday for what I was doing up in Pickaway County. But they're all over the place. You want to find out more? When you click on this ad anywhere you see it at littermedia.com, it takes you right to AccurateHVAC.com for accurate heating, cooling, and plumbing. Are you looking for a beer that satisfies your thirst and love of country? Armed Forces Brewing Company brews beer for patriots. Celebrate freedom with every sip. Armed Forces Brewing Company. Freedom never tasted so good.
As a professional race car driver, I live for speed, power, and performance on and off the track. That's why I use the Dixie Chopper, the world's fastest lawnmower. Race into your local dealership today and test drive a new Dixie Chopper.
Find a career you love with Pickaway Ross Adult Education. Skilled trades careers are in high demand with no signs of slowing down. Pickaway Ross offers career training programs with expert instructors and hands-on learning tactics to create a variety of opportunities. Visit our website for more information.
This is Andy Tomlinson. When ensuring what's important to you, our agents are there when you need us the most. Tomlinson Insurance, for the best coverage at the best cost. Visit us online at tomlinsonins.com to learn more.
Haynes Total Healthcare Center is celebrating 50 years of serving the chiropractic, physical therapy, and nutritional needs of the community. Click on this ad anywhere you see it on littermedia.com, and it will take you right to their website to learn more. HaynesHealth.com. And here comes Dan Ramey back from getting a drink of water.
grabbed a little bottle right there to help me get back to somewhat normal. We'll see how it lasts. All right, let's take you to our website, which is littermedia.com. We have a bit of a new look to our website, and there you see part of it right there. And you can follow along with some of the news stories we're going to be talking about here today. Not only that, but you can follow us here on Facebook as well as Litter Media X and our YouTube channel, which is absolutely free to subscribe. We start with last night's announcement on the main stage at Ashville Community Park.
Miss Asheville 4th of July for 2024 is contestant number 6, Maria Siers.
There's Maria Siers. She's, of course, the Miss Asheville 4th of July for 2024. Her attendants are Aubrey Helser, who is the first attendant, and Rebecca Light is the second attendant. You can see the interview with both the 2023 queens, which are to the left of your screen right there, but also the 2024 queen and her courts. That's available in the news story on our website at littermedia.com. The Midway and Fish Stand do not open until 5 o'clock this afternoon with classic rock band Brian Weiskittel. He'll be playing at 5 p.m. Gypsy Kings will wrap up the entertainment at 8 p.m. tonight. Asheville fireworks are scheduled for dusk Thursday night. Take, if you would, a look at these photos. That's part of what I was doing yesterday, being on assignment with the 9 lovely ladies that are behind me that are the candidates for this year's contest. But here we have, look at that face. The expression says it all, doesn't it? That is Maria Siers after she's been crowned as the winner of Miss 4th of July. And this photo is Kelly Spriggs. She's holding there a special recognition plaque from Kissel Amusement Park Rides. That's Kelly Spriggs is the co-director for the Queen's Pageant, but her husband Mike passed away last February. He was not only instrumental in the Asheville 4th of July celebration, but he was at one time a 5-year president of the Ohio Festivals Association here in Ohio. That's one of his sons off to the left there as well. And so they made special recognition. Another fellow by the name of Joe Moore, who also passed away, received a special recognition from the Asheville Community Men's Club as well. Super guys who put this together. They also recognized 5 ladies who are the backbone, really, to make sure those guys do the work. Kelly was one of those, along with a handful of others. You can see their photo on our website at littermedia.com.
Yeah. Washington Courthouse has their Independence Day fireworks show at 10 p.m. tonight, weather permitting, at the Fayette County Fairgrounds, while Chillicothe, Asheville, Lancaster, and Logan are all tomorrow night. And yesterday we had a special edition on Litter Media Live. Retired Lieutenant Colonel Bob Leach and local historian and author Melody Labsinski Hatfield gave an update concerning the proposed Ross County Military Tribute Museum.
We have this letter of support that's going to allow us to take this next big step in getting some major financial grants that we have to do now because we're dealing with an old building. First thing we're going to need is a building inspector to come in and get a good look at the building, and then an architect to figure out how we can convert what's been used for many years as a service department for the city, for the water service, and change that into a museum structure.
Yeah.
And you can find that interview on Litter Media YouTube, Spotify, Litter Media Radio, or on our Facebook page on our videos section.
I saw Paul Leach out of uniform one day, and I didn't recognize him at first. I'm like, hey, Paul, how you doing?
Bob?
I said, Paul. Paul used to be the superintendent of Chillicothe City Schools like 40 years ago. Bob Leach, I saw him out of uniform one day, and it just didn't look right.
Yeah.
Like, we're used to seeing you wear your your Army outfit.
Was it Bob Leach that Mike was interviewing when I fell out of my chair that one day?
No, that was the 95-year-old veteran who was here. Bob's not quite 95 years old.
No, he's not.
And his name's not Paul either. So Ross County Auditor Jeff Lehner has announced that the auditor's office will waive approximately $450,000 in real estate fees as part of the Ross County second half 2024 property tax levy distribution. This follows last year's refund of nearly $500,000 in fees to Ross County school districts, townships, and other levying jurisdictions.
And save the date, Saturday, July 13th will be the 23rd annual Railroad Rendezvous at Pike Lake State Park from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. There will be model railroad displays, collections of railroad memorabilia, and photographs. There will also be a quilt show along with an antique tractor and truck show, as well as a tractor parade. And unfortunately, I won't be able to be there that day because I'm best man in a wedding.
Mm-hmm. And saying railroad rendezvous
That's
is
hard.
not easy.
It's
unless you make fun of it. You're like, railroad rendezvous. It's easier to say that way.
Yeah.
But it's not normal.
No, it's not.
And neither is having railroad and rendezvous together in most sentences, I think. As Ohioans prepare to celebrate Independence Day, they can rest assured that the bald eagle, a symbol of our nation, is doing well here in the Buckeye State. The 2024 annual spring survey showed a robust estimate of 841 active eagle nests, according to the Ohio Department of Natural Resources Division of Wildlife. Last year, biologists estimated 910 nests in Ohio. Although the number of the estimated nests is lower in 2024, key indicators suggest that Ohio's bald eagle population is resilient and continues to thrive.
And that's not a number of eagles, that's a number of nests.
Correct.
So how many eagles live in a nest, do you reckon?
I haven't personally looked in a nest. I've seen on adventure shows and that sort of thing, wildlife programming. It seems 2,
risky?
maybe 3.
Oh, okay.
Thereabouts.
I was going to say, I thought you were going to say it seems risky to look into a bald eagle nest.
I would think it would be risky.
Maybe there's a mama bald eagle ready to pluck your eyes out.
Plus it's not an easy spot to get to.
Yeah.
You got to have a big cherry picker or maybe
a drone.
A drone or a helicopter. But either way, that's something you don't want to do.
Yeah. Ohio Governor Mike DeWine has announced that the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services has approved a proposal by the Ohio Department of Medicaid that will incentivize nursing homes to make more private rooms available for residents. The plan is part of a comprehensive strategy to maximize the quality of care and quality of life experienced by nursing home residents all across Ohio.
And our road report today takes us into Jackson County, work for a bridge replacement project on State Route 788 between Sand Hill Road and State Route 93. Work will occur daily for the construction. State Route 93 will be closed for the duration of the project. Traffic will be detoured via State Route 93 to Sand Hill Road. Estimated completion the summer of 2024. Had a special guest in here during the earlier portion of the program talking about Litter Media Live. At 10 o'clock this morning, a visit with Brian Wickline. We'll have some of what he had to talk about on the way next, coming up in sports. But first, Scioto Valley Dumpsters. If you have a cleanup job that you need done, in some instances, they'll do those cleanups. They'll even do demo work. But if you need a dumpster, they can do that as well in your residence or your business. 740-253-8389. Give Carl a call today at Scioto Valley Dumpsters.
Wherever you are there for a reason. You shouldn't have to make a trip to the branch just to deposit a check. Skip the trip and use our mobile app to easily and securely deposit checks from your phone. Day or night, wherever you are, or whatever you're doing, download the Kingston National Bank Mobility app today.
I was looking for a first job. I had been babysitting and decided it was something for a little more permanent. It pays very well. It's convenient. You can make your own schedule with the flexibility. That's something that I like. The people that I work with are great. I wouldn't ask for a better crew or management team to work for.
As a basketball coach and a dad, I need to be able to keep up.
Mark came to the Adina Orthopedic and Spine Institute in severe arm pain from a degenerative disc.
I was so confident in Dr. Fleming, he explained everything.
Together, they decided on minimally invasive spinal surgery to relieve Mark's pain and get him back to what matters most. At Adina, we do what we love, so you can too.
Earlier this morning, we had a visit from the president of the Chillicothe Paints.
Yes.
Speaking of Brian Wickline, joining us on a special edition of Literate Media Live this morning, talking about the boys securing a playoff spot by winning the first half of the season last weekend. And the big question, is a new stadium still in the works for the franchise?
You've been fortunate enough, as I said, to win the first, so it allows you to kind of, prepare for the playoffs. That gives you the second half to not stress about, we've got to, how many games are we up or back to get into the playoffs. So, we've been, I don't want to say cruise, but it's nice to be able to play some guys that maybe have not played a lot the first half, get them some reps, get them some innings for the pitchers, and just kind of, prepare and get ready for that August 1st date. Because that's when it's really game time.
The question is for you, Brian Wickline, when are you going to get that stadium? I know that's been something that people are probably asking you all the time.
If I had $20 million check I could write, we'd have it tomorrow. That's what it comes down to. We do have some land identified. That's not the holdup. The holdup is we need some help financially to be able to get it done. And so we're still working on that. We were thankful enough and lucky enough to receive a $500,000 grant from the state. Mark Johnson and Shane Wilkin helped us get some money for the turf because no matter what happens, the VA needed new turf. Yeah. And so it's 18 years old and it's unsafe. And so this fall, we're going to be installing new turf out at the VA, and we're just going to continue to work and try to. We've outgrown it. I've said it. I know there are people that love the VA, and rightfully so. There's a lot of history there. But for us to continue to grow and be here for the next 30 years, we have to have a new stadium. There's just no ands, ifs, or buts about it. I mean, that's just the way it is. That's reality. I live it every day. Like I said, there are people that don't think that that's true, but I'm the one that has to see that every day. Mm-hmm. And for us to continue to be here, we have to have a new stadium. So that being said, we're going to work on it. Is it a 5-year plan? Maybe a little shorter than that, but we're going to continue in the off season to keep working toward that and ask, for everybody's patience, and we'll just see what happens.
Nothing like getting a new home, but when you have to wait for that new home to be completed, it's a different situation, so to speak. But our fingers are crossed for the Chillicothe Paints to get that new home in the near future. Speaking of the Paints, last night they were 8-3 winners over Lafayette. The two clubs will get together again this afternoon. They'll start at 5:05. The gates open up at 4:05. They're playing a doubleheader today, so you've got an opportunity to go out and watch some earlier baseball than you normally would get a chance to on a weeknight.
Yeah.
It's also a Winning Wednesday where they give away 5 $50 gift cards. Maybe it's 4, one or the other. But if you win one of those, $50, that'll fill up your gas tank, right?
And that would fill up my gas tank.
In your gas tank.
Yes.
It wouldn't help you it would help, but it wouldn't fill up a pickup truck probably. No. So, but they do plan on having fireworks this evening. If that changes due to the weather, they tell us that they will let us know, and we'll let you know what we know when we know what we know. You know?
I know. I don't know if the audience knows what you're saying right now.
Reds and Yankees found themselves going toe-to-toe last night. Cincinnati jumped out to a 5-0 lead on the powerful Yankees and held on for a 5-4 victory. They'll play again today, and 4th of July, in New York City, the Yankees, I mean, that seems like Americana to me.
It does.
Right there. Guardians,
with America's first MLB team.
Yeah, that's right. Well, it wasn't Major League Baseball then.
But
first professional baseball
the Reds were the first.
Yes. The Guardians picked up a win last night, also by a single run, 7-6 the final, with a win over the White Sox. And when you have the celebration of a walk-off win, you wear the double bubble bucket. You know, you wear that on
Yeah,
your
you're
hat.
supposed to do that. It's tradition.
Yes. All right, coming up in a moment to look at this date in history as we hearken back to 1863. Details coming up right after this.
Litter Quality Propane, 92 years of serving propane users in southern and central Ohio. Reliable supply, reliable service, reliable people.
For transportation options in Ross County, call Ross County Health District's Mobility Management Team, 740-779-9652. Each week, Litter Media presents the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Player of the Week. If you have an athlete to nominate, any amateur athlete is eligible. Simply visit littermedia.com and click on Player of the Week. At the end of the year, we'll announce the Player of the Year. Make your nominations now at littermedia.com. Click on Player of the Week. Discover Ross County. From the breathtaking outdoor adventures to the historic sights of Chillicothe and family-friendly events and festivals. Explore more at visitchillicotheohio.com or download the free mobile app today.
Why not?
Time for this date in history. We turn the Litter Media Wayback Machine to 1863, and you would have to think that's American Civil War time.
You would have to think that. And you're right.
I am right. On the third day of the Battle of Gettysburg, Confederate General Robert E. Lee's last attempt at breaking the Union line ends in disastrous failure, bringing the most decisive battle of the American Civil War to an end. Deadly, deadly battle. And
you ever been there?
I have not been to Gettysburg.
You haven't been to Gettysburg?
No, I've always wanted to go, and here you get to your adult life and you like to do those things, and you realize that once you get married, two people have to make the right decision.
That's true.
and
then once you have a kid.
That's right. Now, when you have a kid, things change a little bit more into your favor, I think, if you have a boy, in my instance. Because then we went to a lot more ball games and things like that. I have a feeling that wouldn't have been the case. We would be going to see, and we're learning some of this now with Amelia, going to more girly type stuff.
Yes.
But she's pretty much a tomboy. She loves trucks and tractors, and she's the apple of my eye, as they say.
See, I want to do some traveling before I ever have a kid.
Right? Have you had this conversation?
Yes, I've had this conversation.
Mm-hmm. Not with your mom and dad, but with your significant other.
With the right person.
That, well, we won't get into that. There may be a future, Mrs. Aaron Glandon, at some point in time.
At some point in time, maybe.
One day, possibly.
Pretty sure.
Fingers are crossed. All right, coming up here in just a bit, we have some guests coming down from Pickaway County. Going to visit with a former classmate of mine, Jan Shannon, and also Marie Wilbanks. They recently went to Africa. They saw giraffes.
We can go to the zoo and see giraffes.
Rhinoceros.
You can go to the zoo and see that. So what were they doing?
But they were up close.
At one of the zoos, you can feed the giraffes like big leaves.
You can do that out at the wilds.
Yeah,
here in Ohio, but they were doing it in Africa, which is a much different story.
But I'm sure they were doing more than that.
They were probably doing more We're going to find out the answer to those questions coming up in just a bit once they arrive. So stick with us. Another special edition of Letter Media Live coming up here as we prepare for Independence Day. For Aaron Glandon, I'm Dan Ramey. We'll talk to you soon.